Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Anthony with Edge on Regenerative Medicine. I'm really excited today. We get to talk with Andrew Paulson, and I'm excited because we get to learn what a nurse practitioner is. There's a lot of people out there that are wondering what is that, and then they end
Right.
up meeting nurse practitioners when they see stem cell doctors or they go to a stem cell seminar and things like that. And I think that today's going to be a good question and answer on getting to know what a nurse practitioner is, what a nurse practitioner does. And so I'm really excited to introduce Andrew Paulson. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks a lot for having me, Mark. Glad to be here.
I know.
Excited.
No, I'm excited too. It's really cool because we interview a lot of doctors on the show,
Right.
and I am always hearing nurse practitioner, and I'm like, I need to meet a nurse practitioner. I mean, it almost seems like the nurse practitioner, in my eyes, does almost everything. So,
Right.
I don't want to say that, put words in your mouth or somebody else's mouth. But today we just want to talk about basically what does a nurse practitioner do. I know that you're working in regenerative medicine by helping people with the healing process in their body. And I know, first of all, I don't want to leave this out, but I know that you work with Optimum Regenerative Care.
Correct.
And tell us a little bit about Optimum Regenerative Care. Where that's located and how long you've been with them or how long you've been in the industry.
Okay. Optimum Regenerative Care is in Bethel, Connecticut, right on the Danbury border. We also pretty close to Westchester County, New York. So we attract a lot of people from that area, as well as all the way up to from Hartford. Even we had some people come from right on the border of Connecticut and Massachusetts. So pretty wide area. Most of Fairfield County we cover. My journey is a little unique in that I started out working in orthopedics and learned a lot of different joint injections and took that, kind of expanded on that. And instead of, injecting steroids and hyaluronic acid and things that are okay temporarily, I decided to get into more regenerative medicine injections, PRP and stem cells. And we're going to get more into that later on, but started to do that and just saw the outcomes were just so much better with that stuff compared to the traditional steroid injection. So I've been doing these types of injections for the past 5 years, and I've been a nurse practitioner for almost 8 years.
Oh, wow. So would you say most of the stuff that you're doing currently right now is in the stem cell market, or is there a little bit of stem cell, a little bit of PRP, a little bit of?
Yeah, I think our practice, definitely the bread and butter is stem cells, but we offer a wide variety of services to try to fit every patient and to fit, fit every budget, every need. We treat peripheral neuropathy, we treat autoimmune diseases. We've been treating, we offer a lot of whole body wellness packages, to try to take care of the whole self. I mean, that's kind of where regenerative medicine, that's kind of the point, right? We're fostering the body's unique healing properties, and we're basically trying to re-energize these cells that have kind of been laying dormant in a person's body for many years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And just a little bit of background on what I think there is some misconceptions, as you touched on earlier, exactly what a nurse practitioner is. And I think a lot of people think that, they just kind of work in hospitals, but that's really not true. Nurse practitioners can work in every specialty from endocrinology to neuro to GI, and our role is only getting more expansive. We, can do pretty much everything a physician can do. Most don't perform surgery, but that's about it. We have a lot of us have prescription powers and things like that. So we're very, very deeply involved in medicine, I think more so than people even think.
So a question that I get asked a lot is, let's say somebody is going to come in for a treatment for, we'll just use this as an example, knee pain, or they're bone on bone, and they're looking at a stem cell injection. Who would you be the one, or would a nurse practitioner be the one that would be taking care of that injection? And if so, what would that look like?
Absolutely. I would be or a nurse practitioner would be doing kind of everything from, not to be cliche, but soup to nuts, right? So I would give you a thorough exam. I would test, all your nerve roots and really talk about how the whole body's connected, that someone can be having knee pain, but it's actually coming from their back. And a lot of people don't realize that. So I would go over a lot of that. And then, depending on what I think is their biggest need, then yes, I would be performing the injection, using sterile technique. I know how to do, I've been trained to do hip injections and knee injections, pretty much every joint that you can think of. I've been doing that for the last 5 years.
Why is there so much misconception of stem cells? Like, you're seeing, a lot of not good things being said about stem cells, but then on the other hand, you're seeing a lot of great things. Like I saw just the other day, how they just realized that by utilizing stem cells, they can grow another heart. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, and that's actually proven. But I what I'm seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's almost kind of cliche. What is good has become bad, or it's like when there's good on the internet, there's always bad trying to say, and it doesn't work. And then you're seeing people walking and being healed. I mean, what's going on? What would you say? How would you answer something?
I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and unfortunately, a lot of it's being put out by people in the field, actually, competitors doing slightly different things, right? So I think that in my experience, I mean, compared to steroids or any other treatment that's out there, this stuff really does work, and it really is utilizing, your own healing property. It's telling these dormant stem cells to wake up, and it's providing what I like to call a moat around the joint, say, that you inject, and it's saying all the inflammatory stuff stay out, and that's what these new stem cells are doing. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of misinformation out there. I think that the first generation of regenerative medicine was using bone marrow or adipose tissue, and I think that is still around, but you're still using your own cells that are, say, 50 or 60 years old, instead of using, cells from an umbilical cord from a healthy baby that was donated and then sterilely used in a vial and then injected. So do you want the 60-year-old cells, or do you want the one-day-old cells? I think most people are going to say, give me the one-day-old cells. And then that's moved on to the second generation of regenerative medicine, which is what we're currently doing, which is umbilical cord or placenta or embryonic base. They're all synonymous cells. And then I think that we're just entering in the third generation of regenerative medicine, which is something called exosomes, which is actually the secretions of the cells, which you need an electron microscope to even see. So we can get billions of these in one milliliter of an injection. So it's pretty amazing stuff, Mark. And I think that I strongly feel, and I felt for the last even 7 years, that this is the new wave. I mean, this is what everything's going to, and I really think it's really cutting edge stuff. But I think that it's now being made available to more and more people.
You hit on something really, really strong with me, as in I call it key words that kind of stick out to me. You brought up exosome. Do you believe that exosome is it the next best thing that's coming out, or do you think that's something that's complementary with stem cell?
I think that it can be complementary, but I think that eventually it will replace. It has the potential to replace stem cells completely. I think that with exosomes, you still need a matrix. You need something to carry them. So whether that is stem cells or whether that's PRP, platelet-rich plasma, you still need that. But it is, because when you look at it, when you get stem cells injected, what's really healing you is not actually the stem cells, but it's the secretions of those same stem cells. So you're kind of like, cut out the middleman and just give me the exosomes, which is the secretions, which is helping you, which is what is helping you anyway.
So basically what I'm hearing you say is that the stem cells, basically, when somebody does puts a stem cell inside you, an injection, and then when they do the exosome, it's almost like a carrier.
Correct.
So
Yeah, exactly.
right. So it's almost kind of like it's I don't know. I'm looking as I'm hearing you say, it's almost like a buffer, like a supporter, to make sure that I call it, the nails really put into the coffin,
Right.
correctly and strong.
Absolutely.
We're duct taping this sucker. I'm playing.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because exosome. My wife and I are going to actually get that done to ourselves sometime in January. So
Okay.
I'm kind of excited. Would you say exosome, can it pretty much do the same thing without stem cell?
Yes, it can absolutely do the same thing without stem cell. And like I said, what is healing you in stem cells is the secretions, and one of the most powerful secretions that with over 300 growth factors in it is an exosome. Now, all those growth factors, I can't name all 300 of them, but those are your alpha, your betas, and they have those fancy little T's and deltas on them. But all of those is what, they're anti-inflammatory, those growth factors, right? So that is what is actually healing you, and those can actually regenerate new, like say cartilage cells if you're putting in your knee. And so part of what a PRP and a stem cell is actually doing is it's just creating an immune response. So it's tricking your body into thinking that it had an injury. What happens in an injury naturally is growth factors come, platelets all come to that area. So they're all being called, come to this one area. That's where you get a pretty amazing immune response.
Okay, wow. And would you say that, so what I'm hearing you saying that with exosome and stem cell, they're basically they complement each other. They basically help each other to help the body to heal, not just faster, but more sufficient.
More sufficient and probably slower, which is a good thing because we don't care if it takes 6 months, but if it takes 6 months to last somebody 5 years, isn't that better than say a steroid injection, which works in a few days, but wears off in 3 months? Yeah. So that's what we stress a lot at our clinic is be patient, because this is going to take a couple months for something that's going to last years. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big, talking about misinformation and misconceptions, is that people think, that day they're going to feel better. No, it's going to take some time, but put in that time and you're going to get years of relief.
Wow. Would you say, I know a lot of people, this is always one of the number one things that come to people's brains. Does insurance cover it normally? Like stem cells or exosomes, do they normally cover that?
Unfortunately, at this time, no. Most insurances, or almost all insurances, do not cover these types of injections. But a good thing, and what we do at Optimum Regenerative Care, is we have different types of services, and we try to work with people as much as possible. So I would tell people who are listening, don't be put off just because, it's not covered, I can't afford it. Well, maybe, we come in for a free consult, and we'll talk about, your budget and what's going on, and we might have something that works.
So because you guys have different packages.
Correct.
So
yeah.
Very important. So what I love about that, it's, I don't have to stay in pain because I don't have insurance. My insurance won't cover it, but I call you guys. You guys have different packages. If this doesn't work, you guys can work something out within our budget and stuff like that.
Correct. Yeah. And another thing that's different in our practice, and which you do not usually find in like, say, an orthopedic surgeon, is that we're staying on top of you, right? We're not just injecting with stem cells and saying, okay, see you later,
One and done.
Right. One and done. Right. So we have a system where we call people after a week, and then we have every couple of weeks you can get a call. We're there. We have an answering service for off hours that we'll get your question answered as soon as, within a couple hours. So we're very on top of it, and we definitely keep track of you.
Okay. Wow. About how many seminars are you guys currently doing right now? Is it a weekly, monthly?
We're doing about 2 a week right now.
Okay. Okay. Well,
and you're going to be able to tell the good people listening how they can get it with a seminar and all of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, what I normally do is, before we start, I didn't do this, which is not a problem. I normally tell everyone, share share the link, like it. It's really important. We live in a time where there's a lot of people that are in pain. And whether you're not in pain, whether you're in pain or not in pain, we want to share this. Even by sharing this video and posting this on your Twitter feed, your social media feed, Facebook, Instagram, think about this. You're helping somebody else. So, you know, we're going to
Absolutely.
we have the phone number on the screen. Optimum Regenerative Care will be on the screen, phone number. We'll have everything on there. Just make sure that everyone shares this. We're going to also have some live testimonials. That's going to be right after this this video of people that are actually being treated by not just Optimal, but by you personally.
Right. There you go.
So, you know, hey, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. But you know, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. And it's funny because I started getting into regenerative care when I started seeing a lot of my family go down with certain body parts.
Right.
And my dad had diabetes, you know, and we started using regenerative care, and now he's able to walk instead of losing his foot. They actually wanted to cut his foot off. And that's kind of how I started getting into this type of not just this type of industry, but in this industry. And I not only focusing on helping my family, but I'm thinking like, you know what, I'm getting older. I need to take care of my body, and not just that, but helping others, because we only keep what we give away, you know.
Yeah, and just to add, like kind of to add to expand on what you said, we had a couple of amazing stories. We had an 89-year-old woman who could barely move her neck, and she comes in 8 weeks later, and she's literally, you know, has full range of motion in her neck and doesn't have pain in her neck anymore.
That's what it's about.
Right. And we had another patient who was 72 years old, and he walked 4 or 5 miles a day, and then, you know, 3 months ago, he ended up waking up and he couldn't walk, and his knees were bothering him, and he went to 3 different surgeons that all said, "Oh, you have to have surgery. You know, you gotta have surgery." And he knew there was another way. And after 3 PRP injections, he has no pain in his knees, and he's back to walking 4 miles a day. So these types of stories is something that we see on a regular basis. So it's a very safe treatment. It's been around, and this is, contrary to popular belief, it's been around for 30 years. The first mesenchymal stem cell that was grown in a lab was in 1981. So this isn't new at all. It has been cleared by the FDA in 2017. So it is regulated. It's not approved, but it's cleared, and the FDA does know about stem cells, and it's regulated by them. So any of these clinics and stuff that are not doing the right thing, they are being shut down. So, which is good for us, because our Optimum Regenerative Care does do the right thing. So I just wanted to end with that very safe treatment that's been around for a while, and I've seen the results. I've seen, you know, these types of stories that I just shared, you know, every day.
That's awesome. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. And everyone, make sure that you call the number on the screen. You can get a hold of one of the receptionists. They'll get your information, and then from there you'll be able to see Andrew Paulson here. He'll probably be the smiley face, making sure that you're taken care of. And again,
Absolutely.
Andrew, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark. Appreciate it.